Let them go. Love yourself first. Self-worth, understanding your value and prioritizing your own well-being above any relationship. Letting go of toxicity, releasing relationships that drain your energy or cause emotional harm, regardless of emotional attachment. Self-love is a foundation, recognizing that loving yourself is essential before truly loving others in a healthy way. Emotional independence, building emotional resilience, and not relying on others for validation or happiness. Healing and growth, letting go leads to healing, allowing you to grow into a more confident and fulfilled version of yourself. Self-worth is a deep personal understanding of your inherent value as a human being, independent of external circumstances, achievements, or the validation of others. It stems from the belief that at your core you are enough, simply by existing. This sense of worthiness is not contingent on what you do, who you know, or what you own, but rather it is rooted in the fundamental truth that every person has value by virtue of their existence. Cultivating self-worth means embracing both your strengths and weaknesses, accepting yourself for who you are in your entirety, and knowing that you are deserving of love, respect, and kindness regardless of your flaws or past mistakes. The journey to developing a strong sense of self-worth often involves shedding societal expectations and the limiting beliefs we may have internalized throughout our lives. Many people derive their sense of value from their external achievements, whether through academic success, career advancements, or the roles they play in relationships. While accomplishments and positive feedback can certainly feel gratifying, they do not define your intrinsic value. The pursuit of self-worth requires shifting the focus inward and recognizing that your essence, your being, holds value in and of itself. Self-worth also entails setting healthy boundaries and standing up for yourself when necessary. When you truly understand your worth, you are less likely to tolerate mistreatment or allow others to diminish your self-esteem. You begin to prioritize your well-being, knowing that your needs and desires are important. This doesn't mean that you become selfish or disregard the feelings of others, but rather you develop a balanced sense of self-respect. You understand that in order to be your best self for others, you must first take care of yourself. One of the most significant benefits of cultivating self-worth is that it frees you from the need for constant external validation. You no longer depend on the approval of others to feel good about yourself. This emotional independence allows you to pursue your goals and passions without fear of judgment or rejection. When your self-worth is intact, criticism and failure are no longer debilitating. Instead, they become opportunities for growth. You are able to maintain your confidence and self-assuredness even in the face of adversity because you understand that your worth is not tied to any specific outcome. Letting go of toxicity is an essential step toward reclaiming your emotional and mental well-being. Toxic relationships, environments, or habits can have a profound and damaging effect on your life, often draining your energy, self-esteem, and overall sense of peace. Whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, a work situation, or even personal behaviors that contribute to a toxic atmosphere, the act of releasing these negative influences is crucial for personal growth and healing. Toxicity can manifest in many ways through manipulation, constant criticism, dishonesty, lack of respect, or simply an ongoing pattern of negativity and conflict. When we are involved in toxic situations, they can create an emotional fog that makes it difficult to see clearly. We may start to question our own perceptions, feel a diminished sense of self-worth, or find ourselves trapped in a cycle of emotional dependency. The longer we stay in these harmful environments, the more we risk losing touch with our authentic selves, becoming entangled in patterns that no longer serve our higher purpose or personal happiness. One of the most challenging aspects of letting go of toxicity is recognizing that it is often deeply intertwined with emotions like fear, guilt, and attachment. For instance, in toxic relationships, there is often a strong emotional pull that keeps us connected, even when we know logically that the relationship is unhealthy. We may fear loneliness, worry about hurting the other person, or be unsure of how to disentangle ourselves from the situation. In some cases, we might have become so accustomed to the toxic dynamic that it feels almost normal, making it even harder to break free. The process of letting go begins with self-awareness and a willingness to confront the truth of the situation. This requires honesty with ourselves about how the toxicity is affecting our lives. It's important to acknowledge the ways in which we've allowed these negative influences to persist, whether out of fear, denial, or hope that things will change. Once we gain clarity on the impact toxicity has on our mental and emotional health, we can begin to make the conscious decision to distance ourselves from it. Self-love as a foundation is the idea that nurturing and valuing yourself is the essential cornerstone upon which all aspects of your life are built. It goes beyond surface-level indulgence or self-care routines and extends into a deep, unconditional acceptance and appreciation of who you are at your core. When self-love is present, it influences every facet of your life, your relationships, your career, your personal aspirations, and your ability to face challenges. Without this fundamental sense of self-worth and compassion, it becomes difficult to sustain happiness, maintain healthy relationships, or grow as an individual. The concept of self-love begins with the belief that you are deserving of kindness, respect, and care simply because you exist. It is the recognition that you are worthy of good things, love, success, peace without having to earn them through external validation or the approval of others. This belief allows you to cultivate a healthy relationship with yourself, one in which you treat yourself with the same compassion, forgiveness, and patience that you might extend to a dear friend or loved one. This internal foundation of self-love forms the basis for everything else in your life, guiding your decisions and shaping your interactions with the world. When self-love is a priority, it affects the way you interact with others. Relationships become more fulfilling because they are not based on neediness, codependency, or a desire for external validation. Instead, they are grounded in mutual respect and genuine connection. When you love yourself, you no longer rely on others to fill emotional voids or to provide you with a sense of worth. You enter into relationships from a place of wholeness, which means you can give and receive love in a healthier and more balanced way. This foundation of self-love also empowers you to set boundaries in relationships, knowing that you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. It allows you to walk away from situations that are harmful or unfulfilling because you recognize that your happiness and well-being matter. Self-love also plays a crucial role in your personal growth and development. When you have a strong foundation of self-love, you are more likely to pursue your goals and dreams with confidence and resilience. You believe in your ability to succeed, not because of external rewards or recognition, but because you trust in your own worth and potential. Self-love gives you the courage to take risks, try new things, and step outside of your comfort zone. It allows you to face failure with grace, knowing that setbacks do not define your worth as a person. This resilience and self-assurance are what enable you to keep moving forward, even when the path is difficult. Emotional independence is the state of being able to regulate and manage your own emotions without relying on external validation, approval, or support. It involves taking responsibility for your emotional well-being and not allowing your mood, self-worth, or happiness to be dictated by the actions, opinions, or behaviors of others. This concept is closely tied to emotional resilience and self-awareness, as it requires understanding your emotional triggers and learning how to cope with difficult feelings in a healthy and constructive way. Emotional independence allows you to maintain a sense of inner stability, even when faced with external challenges, and it empowers you to live authentically, free from the need for constant reassurance or validation from others. At its core, emotional independence means knowing that your happiness and fulfillment come from within, rather than being dependent on someone else's approval or affection. It doesn't mean cutting yourself off from others or avoiding close relationships, but rather having the ability to engage in these relationships from a place of self-assurance and inner strength. When you are emotionally independent, you are not seeking someone to complete you or to provide you with a sense of worth. Instead, you recognize that you are whole on your own, and your relationships are an extension of that wholeness rather than a means of filling a void. One of the key aspects of emotional independence is self-regulation. This involves being able to identify your emotions, understand their origins, and manage them effectively. For many people, emotions can feel overwhelming at times, and it can be tempting to seek comfort or validation from others when experiencing difficult feelings like sadness, anxiety, or anger. However, emotional independence means developing the ability to soothe yourself and work through these emotions without relying on external sources. This doesn't mean that you should never turn to others for support. Connection and empathy are important, but emotional independence ensures that you do not become overly reliant on others to regulate your emotions. Emotional independence also involves setting healthy boundaries. When you are emotionally dependent on others, You may be more likely to sacrifice your own needs or feelings to maintain harmony in your relationships. You might find yourself people-pleasing, overextending yourself, or tolerating behavior that undermines your well-being because you fear rejection or disapproval. Emotional independence, on the other hand, empowers you to set boundaries that protect your emotional health. It allows you to say no when necessary, to walk away from toxic or draining situations, and to prioritize your own well-being without guilt or fear. You understand that you are responsible for your own happiness, and you are not afraid to protect your emotional space, even if it means disappointing others. Healing and growth are deeply interconnected processes that form the foundation of personal transformation and development. Healing refers to the process of recovering from emotional, mental, or physical wounds, while growth represents the positive change and development that occurs as a result of that healing. Together, they create a cycle in which the release of past pain allows for the emergence of new strengths, insights, and opportunities for self-actualization. Healing and growth are not linear or instantaneous, but involve ongoing effort, self-reflection, and a willingness to confront difficult emotions and experiences in order to emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The journey of healing begins with acknowledgement. To heal, you must first recognize the wounds you carry, whether they stem from past trauma, loss, betrayal, rejection, or any number of painful experiences. Healing requires you to face these wounds head-on, rather than suppressing or avoiding them. This can be incredibly difficult, as it often involves revisiting painful memories and emotions that may have been buried for years. However, healing cannot occur without this crucial step of acknowledgement. Denial or avoidance may temporarily shield you from pain, but it also prevents you from fully processing and releasing the emotional baggage that holds you back. Once you have acknowledged your pain, the next step in healing is acceptance. This means accepting the reality of what has happened and letting go of the need to change the past. Acceptance does not mean condoning or excusing the actions that caused harm, nor does it mean diminishing the impact of your experiences. Instead, acceptance allows you to come to terms with the fact that what has happened cannot be undone, and that your energy is better spent focusing on how to move forward rather than dwelling on what could have been. Acceptance is a powerful part of the healing process because it frees you from the grip of regret, resentment, and bitterness, opening the door to emotional release and growth. Healing also involves forgiveness both of others and of yourself. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as letting someone off the hook for their wrongdoing, but in reality it is about freeing yourself from the heavy burden of anger and resentment. When you forgive, you release the emotional hold that past events have over you, allowing you to move forward with greater peace and clarity. Self-forgiveness is equally important, as it involves letting go of guilt, shame, and self-blame. Many people carry deep feelings of unworthiness as a result of past mistakes or failures, and healing requires cultivating self-compassion and understanding. By forgiving yourself, you acknowledge that you are human and imperfect, and you give yourself permission to heal and grow.